Welcome to a recent interview that I had with a truly exceptional woman. Not only is she a veteran, but she has the sheer drive to try to help as many people as possible through her shared experiences in dealing with post-traumatic stress disorder. She also has amazing advice on the application of using cannabis. I hope you enjoy. So, are you ready to get started?
I guess.
Okay. Well, good. Well, welcome. Today we have an incredibly special guest, and this is Ms. Nicole Brown. I actually met you as part of a research experiment that we were conducting among New Mexico veterans that have post-traumatic stress disorder. Mm-hmm. And we are still essentially studying the effects of cannabis use on anxiety, essentially. And what's really interesting about you is that you were not using cannabis at the time of the study.
Right.
However, you do have experience using cannabis, so you could really speak to both sides.
I can.
And that is quite interesting. I think it would be really helpful for folks to hear about your experiences, particularly in the context of serving your country. And thank you so much for doing so. I greatly appreciate it. I really do. So let me just have you tell us a little bit about yourself.
Don't know how far you want me to go back, but I served in 2001 and suffered an MST after about 10 months, and MST is military sexual assault. So with that naturally comes some traumatic experiences and the PTSD. And unfortunately, the military does not take care of their female veterans or their male veterans, to my knowledge, in regards to a sexual assault. As a matter of fact, I think the males have a harder time because they're made fun of and they're it's kind of put out there as a joke that the weak one got picked on. However, in regards to females, we're just going to brush it aside. I was put in an institution for a period of 2 weeks for self-harm because the individual that had committed this crime against me, nothing occurred to him. They did not take any action in regards to the incident. I did go with some friends and file the report, and unfortunately, because nothing was done, I fell into some very dark times and was very suicidal and became very depressed and had a lot of self-harm. So I'm still fighting that claim today, and am on yet another appeal because despite the fact that they have acknowledged that this did occur to me, they're stating that it is not associated with my PTSD. So I'm trying to gather the evidence. I'm currently in treatment for PTSD at the VA hospital, and in one-on-one treatment that will be ending in 2 weeks, and then I go to group treatment for a period of 36 weeks. So it's quite expensive. I'm a single mom of 3 kids and trying to make my way through life while dealing with my own issues and trying to heal from everything, and it's affected me greatly on how I raise my children, especially my daughter. So,
wow.
Yeah.
I'm very sorry. But I know that there are a lot of people that have similar experiences, and I've worked with a lot of males that have told me sort of similar stories, and some of them are quite broken mentally and sometimes physically. Why did you decide to enroll in our study?
Why did I decide to?
Well, you know, there's I guess I'll just say that you veterans come in all shapes and sizes, and the one thing that I've noticed that you do have in common is that you all want to help each other.
Yeah.
And I appreciate that.
Thank you. I think that the more information we can get out there, especially when it comes to sexual assault, both on the male and female side, because it's a very hush-hush thing and a very under-the-rug type thing, and we don't talk about it and everyone stays quiet. I've most recently in the last few years become an advocate on mental health, mental illness, and sexual assault, and have chosen to be the voice for the voiceless. So I think for me that conducting the study, because I came from Illinois where I had my medical marijuana card and was using the medical marijuana for my PTSD, for my anxiety, for my panic attacks, for the depression, both indica and sativa, and blending it together for the moments where I just needed to function as a human being and get out of bed. to coming to New Mexico and really focusing on healing, but a natural healing without medication, without cannabis, and really just doing the therapy work and gaining those coping mechanisms, because I think when you're learning coping mechanisms and you have an attack of some sort, you go straight to what you know. And straight to what I know was, okay, let me grab my Ativan for anxiety, or let me grab my indica so I can calm down. So really trying to actually learn the process of how to cope as in the best way possible without going to my crutch, was the mentality I came into New Mexico with. So, and that's where I'm at now.
So, you've both used and not used on your own volition at various times in your life for different reasons. And I guess the feedback that I've gotten from vets thus far, anecdotally, is that about 8 out of 10 of them say that cannabis does help with their PTSD symptoms, whether that's a reduction in their nightmares, other qualities of sleep that are improved, or perhaps increased ease at going out in public. But it doesn't seem to help everybody's PTSD, but it does seem to help a lot of folks. But they also have caveats. It helps in this regard, but not here, or to this extent, but not more than that. What can you tell us about the effects of cannabis on anxiety in your life?
So for me, I'm very in tune with my body. I've kind of stripped, like, I don't have sugars and things of that nature, although I do go up and down with, sugars and things of that nature. But very in tune with my body, how I feel, what works and what doesn't. So when it came to the medical marijuana, having the right proportions and knowing what I needed when I needed it was very essential for me. So in a work environment, I was co-owning a kickboxing gym at the time, so edibles was obviously more convenient than smoking in front of customers.
Okay.
So having the right edibles, which would be an indica, to bring me down when other people's music is going, and you're dealing with all types of energies, and your own energy, you absorb that. So in order to come down from that, or if someone's upset or they start yelling, you deal with the public on a daily basis. So having the right mixtures for that. In a state of depression, there were days where I physically could not get out of bed, and though scheduled for 40 hours, there were weeks where I would only go in for 20 to 25 hours because I physically could not get out of bed. That's how I call them lows. That's how low I was. But then if I was on a high, I'd be able to accomplish everything and anything and be up at 4 a.m. and be in bed by 12 p.m. and, focused and honed in. And then on the days where I'm just kind of feeling meh, but don't really have any motivation, I would mix an indica and a sativa so that I have the energy to get through the day and I'm not anxious. But some of the indicas are so helpful with focus and intent so that you can actually function through your day. So it was about finding the right balance, and it most definitely did help drastically with functioning in many, many aspects.
It's interesting. I've never really heard of it. Thank you for watching this part of our interview. As always, we hope that it truly helps as many people as possible. If you do appreciate the content that we're providing you nearly every single day, please consider hitting the like and subscribe buttons, or becoming a patron or even a donor to the University of New Mexico's Medical Cannabis Research Fund, where we are fighting for you every single day to provide you the type of information that you could use to make sound medical decisions for yourself and for your family. We're also fighting for you as advocates to be able to give you a loud, confident voice in knowing that you do have full control over your health decisions, and you have the right to be able to make those decisions as you see fit. Together, through our loud, collective, and confident voices, we are changing the world.